Don't trust everything the media tells you. Nowadays, people say that minivans are outdated and that crossovers and SUVs are cooler and better. But today, I'll break down the facts so that you can see it for yourself why the minivan wins categorically in many areas and why it's a better choice compared to crossovers and SUVs. When a consumer buys a mid-size crossover or SUV for off-roading purposes, that's a specific need, so it's understandable. But when a consumer buys one of these with the rationale that he needs a third row, well, that's just an excuse. Everyone knows that the third row in mid-size crossovers is too cramped for most adults. And I'm talking about all dimensions here. Very little legroom, short headspace, and row width is tight too. Just try sitting in the third row of the Lexus RX 350L crossover versus the Toyota Sienna minivan, and you'll see the huge difference. Not only that, but the third row in a mid-size crossover also eats up valuable cargo space. On the other hand, minivans have lower floors, so you get a deep cargo well behind the third row, which means more cargo volume from the get-go. Plus, the third row seats fold down or even pull out, and you'll get even more room. But let's be more specific. I'll compare 3 specific cars as representative cars for each class. And then you can see more clearly the advantages and disadvantages. Today I'm looking at the 2023 Toyota Sienna minivan versus the 2023 Toyota Highlander midsize crossover versus the 2023 Cadillac Escalade full-size SUV. The Sienna minivan has 33.5 cubic feet of cargo space behind its third row seats. That's a lot more cargo space than the regular wheelbase Cadillac Escalade SUV, which offers only 25.5 cubic feet. And you don't have to pay the higher sticker price of an Escalade. Also, it's more than 2 times the cargo space of the Highlander, which offers just 16 cubic feet. But let's say you fold down the third row seats in all 3 vehicles. The Sienna will give you 75.2 cubic feet of cargo space, where the Escalade gives you 72.9 cubic feet. Worse yet, the Highlander gives you 48.4 cubic feet. So here again, the minivan wins. But now, let's fold the second row seats. I'm talking an impressive 101 cubic feet of cargo space in the Sienna. But here's where the Escalade gives you more at 121 cubic feet. Again, the loser here is the Highlander, which only offers 84.3 cubic feet, which is nowhere near the other 2 cars. Side note, if you look at the long wheelbase Cadillac Escalade ESV, you'll find the most cargo space across all combinations. I'm talking 41.5 cubic feet of room behind the third row, or 94.1 cubic feet with the third row folded down, or 142.8 cubic feet with the second row folded down. But that all comes at an extra price tag. The high-performance Escalade V starts at a whopping $149,195. So if cargo space is your priority, consider this. The Sienna starting MSRP is just over $36,100, where the Escalade V starts at around $149,200. In other words, is that extra cargo space in a long wheelbase Escalade V worth an additional $113,100? For the most part, I'd say the answer is no. Bottom line, the minivan's cargo space should meet the average American's need while keeping things in budget. In fact, believe it or not, every 2023 minivan on the market right now has more cargo room than a Ford F-150 truck bed. Don't forget sliding doors. You might think it feels outdated, but you can't deny how functional and practical they are. It just slides open, automatically and effortless. Your kids can't scratch or bump the car next to you. This is one of the hallmark features of a minivan that you can't find in popular crossovers or SUVs. But now let's talk about gas mileage. An SUV, especially a full-size one, is huge and it eats up a lot of gas. The trade-off of having a bigger engine that outputs more power is that it requires more fuel to be burned. Don't even get me started on the gas mileage of the Cadillac Escalade. A 2023 Cadillac Escalade with a turbo diesel 3-liter i6 LM2 powertrain has a gas mileage of just 20 miles a gallon in the city and 26 on the highway. But here's even more shocking. The Escalade V with a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 LT4 powertrain will get you a mere 11 miles a gallon in the city and 16 miles on the highway. Now, a minivan, on the other hand, is lower to the ground and drives more like a car. Because of its engine, the minivan usually has better gas mileage compared to an SUV and crossover competitors. Toyota stopped offering gas-powered Siennas starting with the 2021 model onward. So, for the 2023 Sienna minivan, you'll see it comes exclusively in a hybrid powertrain. The front-wheel drive version has an EPA estimated gas mileage of 36 miles a gallon both in the city and on the highway. If you want to compare that to a gas-powered Toyota Highlander, well, the gas-powered one gets just 21 miles a gallon in the city and 29 on the highway. So that puts it out of the race. The hybrid front-wheel drive version offers 36 in the city and 35 on the highway, so it's fairly comparable to the minivan. The average minivan costs less than a 3-row crossover. Honda Odyssey minivan, for example, starts at $37,500, which is $3,600 cheaper than the Honda Passport midsize crossover, starting at $41,100. On the other hand, the Toyota Sienna starts at $36,135, which is just $300 cheaper than the Highlander, which starts at $36,420. Now let's talk about turbocharging. A turbocharger gives an engine extra power without sacrificing fuel efficiency. Usually turbochargers are added to smaller engines to improve performance. Basically, a turbo compresses exhaust gas and then sends compressed air back into the engine. This increased airflow sends more fuel to the engine, which outputs more power. The Highlander XLE trim comes with a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder turbo engine. The thing is, typically a vehicle with a turbocharged engine is usually a bit more expensive than one with a naturally aspirated engine. Also, many turbocharged engines require premium gas. A turbocharged engine isn't always as reliable as a naturally aspirated engine. Just think, the more parts of an engine, the more can go wrong. Turbocharged engine usually requires more routine maintenance because turbochargers stress the engine and its parts. If you're planning on hauling heavy loads, a turbo-boosted smaller engine is not the best way to go. In most cases, it's just better to get a bigger engine. Now, the Toyota Sienna does not come with a turbo option, but honestly speaking, when it comes to a minivan, while it is possible to turbocharge a minivan, there's really no need to, and that saves you a world of trouble in the long run. Minivans will also save you money on car insurance. Actually, there are a few reasons why it's generally cheaper to insure a minivan as opposed to an SUV. First of all, statistically speaking, minivans aren't in as many accidents. The average minivan driver is usually a lot more cautious on the road compared to other drivers. Part of it comes down to the fact that there are children in the back, but it's also because the average minivan driver is demographically older and are more experienced drivers than owners of SUVs, who are usually younger and less experienced as a group. Another reason why car insurance costs are low for minivans is because vehicle theft and vandalism is uncommon with minivans. Here you have the advantage of the minivans being less popular than crossovers and SUVs. Less popular means you're not on the top of the list among vehicle thieves, and that translates into low insurance claim risk. Minivans also have higher safety ratings, and that translates to lower insurance premiums. Last but not least, minivans have been around for decades and are rather common. So if you need to repair or replace a part, the parts are typically accessible and easy to source. So parts replacement costs are much lower compared to crossovers or SUVs. Car insurance companies like that. If a car part is easily accessible and less expensive to repair, that vehicle has a lower cost risk to the company. And that's why you enjoy lower insurance premiums. Here's another advantage to minivans: car washing costs. Many car washes charge more for larger vehicles. In many cases, it's cheaper to get your minivan washed compared to a full-sized SUV. But let's shift gears and talk about safety. When it comes to driving, visibility is an important fact. Obviously, the more you can see ahead on each side and the rear, the better, especially when you're changing lanes, merging into a highway, or even maneuvering into a parking spot. The minivan offers better visibility for the driver compared to the SUVs. Part of the reason is the lower ride height of the minivan, whereas SUVs are taller, ride higher, and have more ground clearance, higher hoods, and higher bumpers. Did you know that back in 2009, one study found that children were less likely to be killed or injured in a crash if they were riding in a minivan, as opposed to an SUV? Researchers looked at fatal and injury-causing crashes between 2000 and 2006, and they found that children in minivans were 35% less likely to be hurt than children in an SUV. And in fatal crashes, there was a 24% greater chance of a child being killed in an SUV than in a minivan. In that same study, a whopping 66% of SUV fatalities involved a rollover, while only 37% of the minivan fatalities involved a rollover. Now, it's true that the study was done a while ago and SUVs have improved since then. Nevertheless, even today, minivans still have a lower rollover risk compared to SUVs. So that's another safety factor you may want to keep in mind. That said, when it comes to SUVs, its large size and heavy weight is both a safety advantage and disadvantage, a blessing and a curse. The average SUV weighs between 5,400 to 6,000 pounds. In some ways, SUVs can provide better protection to its passenger inside than to a minivan, which weighs less. For example, SUVs generally have more reinforcement than a minivan, and the heavy front bumpers function as crumple zones to absorb the energy from an impact, almost acting like a cushion, so to speak. On the flip side, its large size, heavy weight, tall height, and relatively low visibility are collectively also what causes more fatality to pedestrians and drivers in other cars when SUVs are involved in a collision. By the way, I have a separate video that talks more about how SUVs are killing us here in America, so check it out. Anyway, in conclusion, minivans win categorically in most of the practical aspects that I addressed today. They just offer way more than crossovers and SUVs in certain aspects. Well, everything except the coolness factor. But how important is the coolness factor anyway? All in all, we should learn to be content with minivans. It's tried and true and steady. The thing is, in the past, mothers helped make minivans popular in its day. But most moms care about looks and they like to follow fashion. Mothers today don't want to be associated with the stigma that exists around minivans. That's why in recent times, moms have been preferring the more popular, cooler crossovers and SUVs. They want cool mom-mobiles. Consider this too, the fact that the car industry is electrifying, and that includes crossovers and SUVs. But my guess is, large electric SUVs like the Hummer EV will never offer good range because they're just too heavy. They're also prohibitively expensive for the average American consumer. Here's my prediction. Unless car makers can figure out better battery technology for electric crossovers and SUVs, I think that electric minivans will be the future for American families. But now you tell me, do you agree that minivans offer way more than crossovers and SUVs in most aspects other than the coolness factor? Does the lack of coolness factor deter you from getting a minivan? Please share by commenting below. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for your support.